Well, hi everyone. Welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. Thanks for coming back and being back with me. You know, a little earlier, we sewed on these beautiful little flowers onto this beanie. We made the beanie yesterday together on here, and then we made this beanie the other day together and put a little flower with buttons on. So, I said I would come back on here when I was finishing up the fingerless gloves that we were working on earlier today, and I added ruffles to this one, you see, and I just folded it here at the wrist, or I guess you can wear this either way. And we were talking a little earlier about how the center seam will go right in the middle when you're done. So what I'm going to do is simply start to crochet the ruffles. So I selected a nice, I really love this. This is like a tweed purple. I mean, it's just beautiful. And this is all I've got left of this yarn. And and this yarn is from the thrift shop, and I got it a long time ago, and I usually use it for tiny little projects. And so I'm hoping, and I should definitely have enough to do the ruffles on this one, and then two little purple flowers that I decided I want to do and put right smack in the middle of this beautiful fingerless glove. And then I'll try them on. So they're just like this one, only this one I had left the opening right there. Like I left an opening in the middle. That's the only difference. And that is the only difference. So, okay, we're going to go ahead. Super simple. So whichever side you want to work the ruffles on, if you know how to do a chain, you've got this. That's all you need to do. Okay, so I'm going to put this over to the side. So when I did this one, I did a chain 4. And then I just simply went to the little next space stitch and did slip stitch and then chain 4. These are all chain 4s. So you see how cutesy that is? It came out really adorable. I especially love it kind of when there's like a little wave like that. So we're gonna start, and you can start anywhere. You really can. So we'll do first our little slip stitch, okay, and then we're going to do a 1, 2, 3, 4. So I simply chained 4, and I'm just going right into the next space. That's all I'm doing, and I'm doing slip stitch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then the very next space stitch, wherever it is. So you see how cutesy? Now you can make it 5, 6. Hi, Connie. Hi, Anelia. Bren, hi. You can make it 5, 6, 7. And so the longer the chain, right? The longer the, like these were maybe a little longer. Maybe they were 5, but they were also a different weight yarn. So we're just going to go straight around the top of the fingerless glove. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I just go into the next space, slip stitch, and that's all that it is. And it doesn't take much yarn. Now I don't have much left, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get 2 little purple flowers out of that, because guess what? Our purple flowers are chains also. That's all they are. Hi, Elena. Hi, St. RS for you. Okay. And whoops. Now, the size hook I'm using is small. This is an H. So it's small, and the yarn is like, it's not a heavy weight yarn. It's maybe a light medium. So it's not a light, like a heavy chunky. And because if you do use a chunky yarn to do your fringes or your little ruffles, first of all, it's going to be difficult on your crocheting, because it will be tight. It will be difficult for you to go in and out of the and, you know, unless you're doing like a blanket and you want to have the large fringes. Hi Jimmy, hi Sophie. So so what we're doing, guys, for those of you just joining, hi Lightning, is we are just simply chaining 4. Okay, that's it. And we're doing a little slip stitch in our very next space stitch, and that's how we're making our little ruffles for our fingerless granny square gloves that we made earlier today. And that's all it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, see? And then my next space, whatever it is, slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when you're in your big space like that, go into your space stitch, because if you don't, what will happen is, because you've got that much of a space, right, because we did the granny square, it will pull. And hi that girl Mallory. Yeah, hi. Oh okay. No, 3, 4. Okay, so that's chain 4, and there we go, slip stitch. Now look how fast this is going. This is real time. 3, 4. It's real time. Okay, like I just started this, and guess what? I'm almost done. 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just keep going in your next space. And I think, look, I think we're going to have enough, definitely, for a couple of flowers. So this is what we're aspiring to, what we just made. And I really like the dark purple with the charcoal. I think that's just lovely. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the little ruffles give it kind of a vintage, maybe a little even boho kind of a vibe going on. 2, 3, 4. And it's so simple. I mean, seriously, yeah, it's so simple. Hi, Interstellar Cab. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's amazing the nice little adornments that you can do with chains. And I'm going to show you more as we go along, different little projects, because I was thinking about that. Just the chain, you can do so much. You can make so many things. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the next one. Look at this. We're almost done. So, yeah, and the longer the chain, if you do 5, 6, 7, whatever you do, then the ruffles will be a little bit more. And you can test it out, especially if you have, you know, you're not sure of the yarn that you have. Hi, Booker. Anthony, hi. Whoops, I went in the same, well, oh, and let me tell you, okay, so I just almost went in the same space. Let me tell you what happens if you go in the same space, making your little chains. Hi, Grace, and Yufa Girl, and MJS Prima, and Exo, Estefania, and Natty. If you were to make, like, to go into the same space a couple of times with, let's say, whatever chain, 4, 5, 6, whatever it is you're choosing, what would happen is the ruffles would kind of be gathered, and it would be a really pretty effect. You can do that too. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we go in our next space. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, when we're in our space, big space there, go in, just stay in your little chain space. Your little chain spaces, stitches. That's what I should say, your stitch space. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each stitch space. Okay, so now we're coming to an end here. And yeah, I'd say we have enough for flower, a couple of flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Thank you for all being with me today. We actually have sun. Hi, Avery and Ali and user 5681. Hi, guys. Okay, and we're on our last little ruffle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or almost last. We have another. So when you get to the end here, that's a good thing to point out. You do want to make sure that you're closing, that you are going right up to the last stitch. Okay, and just make sure you're closing the whole parameter there of your fingerless glove with your stitches. Let's see if it lets me put an extra one there, and that's fine. Okay, so now I'm going to just simply tie this off, and then I'll tuck the tails in a little bit, and I'm going to take these off for now. And then we'll make our little flower. Okay, so just pull these tails in to the inside of your work. Okay, and then what you would do, what we do is just weave them in through your work, but not so they're being shown on the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna put the camera down just so you can see for a minute. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, we'll put this down. And I mean, seriously, look how adorable those are. I'm trying to get the tails out of the way. And I cuffed them down here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, I'm thinking I think I might even sew these little cuffs into place, just to give them a little more consistency. I noticed this yarn I was working with is stretchy, and it very easily, the piece you make will very easily stretch. Like if I pull this, I'll pull this. Okay, so I think I want to put like a purple flower right in the middle. So we're going to make a flower. And for those of you, if you haven't seen the flower yet, hi Alexandria, if you haven't seen the flower yet, it's super simple. I would usually use a larger hook, but I'm going to go with this hook. We'll go with this hook, and I don't have any around me. I have them in the other room, but that's all right. This is an H hook, so it's going to make the chains are going to be small, which is fine. 1, so we're going to start with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're just all we're doing is connecting them with a slip stitch. That's it. Now, because this hook is small, what I did with these flowers, one of them is 7, and I think the other one is like 6 chain. I think this is 7. So it's a larger hook. Hi Alexis, hi Mia. But I'm gonna go, even though this is a smaller hook, I don't have a lot of yarn left. So I'll go with 7, And let's see, we're going to get a little flower, but that will be all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, this will be a nice petal. And then now what you can do is you can bring the slip stitch right back into the same stitch where you started, or next to it. I'm going to go next to it. Okay, because that's where I want to start the next petal. And so then that will help me to get like hopefully 5 petals. Or you know what, let's make it easy. Let's just go in the center. You can go, there's so many things you can do. There are no rights and wrongs. Okay, hi Jasper. Okay, so I went in the center, and I'm going to do chain 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and I'm simply going in the center, slip stitch. Okay, see your little petals coming along? Those are your petals. Okay, and we're going to do 5 of those. So chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to slip stitch right through the center of our little circle. And we want to make 2 more petals. So we're going to chain 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, slip stitch through the center. Going through the center alleviates you. Hi, Mallory. It alleviates you from having to worry about looking for the stitch. If this was a little bit lighter, it might be easier for me to kind of very quickly see the stitch, and if the stitches were larger. You know, I was saying yesterday, look, that's kind of like a little butterfly, isn't it? Isn't that just cute? So we're going to do 1 more petal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here is our just adorable little flower. Now let me just tie this off. We're going to get our tail, and we'll tuck the tails in. What you do is weave the tail in later, or you can use the tail to tie onto your little piece, whatever it is you're making. Is this just too darn cute? Okay, it's just too cute. And so I'm gonna just place it. I'm just gonna snip these a tiny bit here. Actually, when they're really close like that and you're using the piece as an adornment, you can simply tie those 2 tails together so you have like a little knot in the back. Okay, and then you can just slip stitch. You can you can kind of weave those tails right in the back there. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do. But first I'm just going to place this down. Oh, that's gonna go, and I'll show you what this is gonna look like. Okay, check this out. I mean, now, is that just too darn cute? Is that just too darn cute? So we'll make 1 more flower for those of you who are just jumping on board. Hi, Java, hi. So, and I do have enough, and I'll even have enough to make a few, to definitely make more flowers. But we'll just go ahead and make another flower. So the way we make, so when you make your flowers, if you're kind of experimenting, write it down. That's just my suggestion until you're absolutely sure how you're doing it, because sometimes you do change it a little bit. Like write down the hook size you used, because this is an H, and I'm doing a chain 5. So this is not a pattern, but this is how I would like to replicate this flower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then simply slip stitch, and then you're just going to do your chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going right through the center and slip stitch to connect to make our little petal. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. And so if you can do your chains, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so these little, and I'm going to try the glove. I want to try the glove on, just show it to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I plan to make, I want to make at least a half a dozen of the gloves for the art and craft fair. And that will just be really lovely. I mean, I'll be really happy with that because of time-wise. And now the other thing is you can make these items to go into a store or an art guild or something like that. So it doesn't have to be an art and craft. So look, we already did 4. And that one looks a little there. Oh, that's got the tail or something on it there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And slip stitch. And we're done with that. So I'm going to slip stitch that. And then I will try the fingerless gloves on so you can see. Oh, I think I did this. Hang on a second. I think I did this backwards. I got to pull that out for a second. This is wool. Look how it hooked into itself. It hooked right into itself there. That's what wool fibers do. They have hooks and they hook. That's why you can wet felt it or needle felt it. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's just a lovely, and yeah, this flower has a lot of hooking going on. It's kind of funny. I mean, I don't know why. It's just the yarn. Okay, if wool, 100% wool, for example, is, let's say, in a plastic bag like this for a really long time, and there's things on top of it or something, it will just felt. It will just start over time. A little bit of air gets in there. It's flattening. It will just felt all by itself. That's kind of what's happening with this. Okay, so I'm going to put this down just so you can see how it looks with the 2 flowers. Get that tail a little bit more out of the way. This is going to be an absolutely lovely design. So there's the 2 flowers and the ruffles. So what I'm going to do is just try them on. Take the flowers off for a minute. And just try these on. Now, the way you put them on is this is hard to see the center of it where I sewed. It just really is because of the way that this particular yarn is. But what's going to happen is the person, they'll try it on and just tell them, say, yeah, have your little flower here. So this flower can be here, or we can put it on the back, so it depends. Yeah, I think I'm trying to think how I would do that. Okay, so look how pretty that is, really. Okay, and the same with this. This I'm trying it on 2 different ways here. Yeah, this is where I think the flower should go, is on the front like that. That's pretty. That's going to be really pretty. Yeah, so I will do that. We'll attach it. We'll just attach it right now, and then try it on. So yeah, when you can hardly see where that seam is, you want to make sure, and you can use this. You see it's a granny square, you see the little flower in the middle, but it's okay to cover that. It really is all right to do that. So I would use the same yarn, and I guess what I have to do, did I bring all my, I did, I brought all my embroidery needles in the other room, so I'm going to go get those, and I just want to attach those, and then I'll worry about my tails after. So okay, so the birds are enjoying the sun, I will tell you. So this is, you see how wide that embroidery needle is that accommodates your yarn? And all you need is a couple of stitches. Now, if you want, you can go all the way around it and stitch in the little petals, but here, I'll put this down so you can see. But it's not like really super, I mean, it depends like how you want to do it. I'm going to, I think first let me pull these through. I just want to get this tail pulled through a little bit more. Now when you pull the tail through like this, on a piece like this, and you're going to sew it, you're kind of reinforcing it adhering by sewing it, okay? So which makes it easier, I believe. Now I'm just going to pull this one this way through. I'm weaving the tail through the back. You see, I want to hide it in the back. That's what I'm doing. I'm going the opposite direction on that one. And I'm just kind of weaving it up and down through the back. Okay, and then I'm going to clip that. Okay, and now I have my little flower, and I can use this very center, if you can see it, of the granny square. That is what this is. This piece is just one granny square. That's what this is, one large granny square. And I guess this one's about 8 by 8, right? That we had measured it earlier. Oh, this is the front of it. Okay, so we'll put that there in the granny square. And then you want to go on the inside. See, there's the inside of the granny square. You see the center? Right there. We're going to stitch around through that once. That's all we're going to do. And because the flower has a couple of layers, it has the front and it has the back, okay, that we should be able, we want to watch, make sure we don't go through the front of the flower. But because we're using the same color, we may not even notice. Okay, so we're just going to kind of give that a few stitches, and we're going to double check, make sure it's adhering. Okay, and it is, so that's very good. So then we'll just go complete our little circle around and just catching some of that flower, just so we get that stitched on, and one good stitch there. Okay, and then we're going to, let's double check it, make sure it's on. Oh yeah, that's a lovely, I mean, how cutesy is that? You know what I mean? That's cute. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just give it a little knot. Always give it a little knot and pull that, and then get that little knot kind of tucked in underneath your stitches. Hide it, basically. You basically want to hide that, and just tucking it in like that. Some people go 2 different ways and call it good. That's a lovely. Okay, that's lovely. I mean, look at that. Oh, let me put that on the front. That's what I want to do. Let me take the seam. I'm having a hard time seeing the seam. I made it so seamless. I made it seamless. So, yes, this is how I want it. That's how I want it. Is that just too cute? What do you think about that? You think you might try something like that? And so we'll have to do our tails, tuck the tails in. So we'll, with this one, that's the same way I would do it. I'm using the little granny square that's right smack in the middle, the very first little one we sewed, as a guide to just sew this on. So we'll do it again. Here you can see. Okay, first I just these I had tied them, so all I'm going to do is simply just pull these through the little stitches there. Let that go through. Okay, looks like that went through, but this one I'm gonna pull it through. I want to pull it through, you know, just give it a nice, just so it's, you kind of get the idea, it's nice and secure. You know what I mean? You want to pull through at least a couple inches. Some people say 3 or 4 inches. So maybe on a hat I would do 3 or 4 inches, but on a little flower like this, a couple of inches is fine. And then plus you're sewing it. You know what I mean? You're sewing it, so you're adhering it even more. Okay, so there's our lovely little flower. We're going to put it right in the center. Right in the center there of our granny square. How do we know it's the center of our granny square? Because we have the little flower where we began. You have the hole right in the center, and you can see the squares from there on. That's how you know that's the center of your granny square. So I'm going to put that right in the center, and I'm going to give this a little knot so I know when I'm stopping and starting. And then, so again, I want to come in the back, and I can see my little circle, and I just kind of want to grab the little parts of the flower to just kind of stitch it on. And I'm trying to stay in the circle part of it. So I just stitch my little flower on. I'm just going to look at it, make sure it looks okay, it looks fine. And then I'm just continuing around. And it's a very quick little stitch. And then if there's any parts of it that are not stitched, you can go around again. So let's double check it and just make sure our little flower is on. And it's on lovely. Over here it seems a little like maybe I missed a little stitch, so I'm just going to go around again. And it does not hurt to give it a second little round of stitches. That's totally fine. And you're using the same yarn color. And hi Colette, how are you? So the same yarn color is really wise if you can do it. Okay, so now that's really good. Now we caught that pretty good. Actually, I do feel like I missed that again for some. Here it is. So I want to watch my needle here for a minute. So I'm bringing my needle up and I'm just going to go through the center because I feel like I had really kind of missed that again. Let me see. Okay, that's good. Oh, that's better. And you can do it that way. There's no absolute. It's what's ever easiest for you. So now in the back, what I'm going to do is a little knot. And I'm just going to tuck this yarn through again, and that's it. And then I'm going to clip it. You see I put it in a couple of different directions. This is so cute. I just really love this. I just noticed this kind of came undone here. So I might sew it. I just might. Okay, so I want this on top, like that. Now what, oh God, that's cute. I mean, really. I do like it like that. I'm gonna be honest. I could give that a couple little stitches. But I guess if I left it, this is stretchy. Seriously, this, look if I stretch that, look how far up it goes. Let me turn this so you can see. Okay, so guess what? Hi, Jasper. We made these, just a message popped up. So we made these like in a couple of hours. This is a morning project. If you do a morning project, these fingerless gloves are a morning project. Why are they a morning project? Because all they are granny squares. Okay, and the rounds we can literally count the round. Okay, we used a J hook for this, okay? And we did the center, and then we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. That's all we did, and this glove was complete. You do not even have to take extra time to put the flowers on or the ruffles. Let's say you just wanted to make some fingerless gloves, and let's say you just want to make some gray gloves, and that's it. 5 rounds. This one, and can I just tell you something too? I don't want it to sound braggy. I really don't. But I came up with this. I did not find this on a hack. Now it might be out there, but a couple of years ago I came up with this. Now what was out there was there was some variation of it, but it wasn't one granny square. That's me. Just want to let you know, and I'm gifting it to you. So enjoy, and if you have any questions, let me know. These are so much fun to wear. They look so cutesy. They feel nice and warm. Just remember, tuck the ties in, the tails. I got to tuck those in. This yarn is the Premier Puzzle, and even though it's variegated, this is a wonderful, wonderful yarn. It is, isn't it pretty? I mean, I'd like to put little flowers on this one. So the only problem with what I'm wearing right now, this yarn, I don't like it. I did get it at the thrift shop and I loved it because it felt super soft. But this is why, like I said, crocheters have so many skeins of yarn, because they'll crochet with it and they're like, oh, I don't like that. It untwisted or it was stretchy. So that's the thing with this one. It's stretchy. I don't know the brand, but it's super, super stretchy. So it's almost making me wonder if but it's not thin. So I don't think it is a sock yarn. But now, okay, that's another thing. Guess what? You can use sock yarns to make your fingerless gloves. You can. Remember though, they are stretchy, so and thin, but it would make a really nice fingerless glove. Now the other thing you can do, which I was telling you earlier, let me just get this, is you can use your lacy crochet thread to make hi Jazz, to make your fingerless gloves. You're going to use the same patterns, probably use your same hooks. The difference is, because this is so lightweight, and you want to make a lacy type of fingerless glove, and you want to get really stylish, and have it be really cool and whatnot. This is going to take a little while, not because it's going to take necessarily any more stitches, but it's going to take a while, because when you're crocheting this, to coordinate it. For example, if you have ever used eyelash yarn to crochet, have any of you ever used eyelash yarn? So eyelash yarn is super slippery, and it's got all the little fringes on it. That's why they call it the eyelash, like it's the fluffy. Super slippery, and it's like, it is so hard to see. So this would be just more because it's so fine that it would take you a while. It's not impossible. You can totally do it. Now the other thing that might occur is it's going to be a totally different fit. It's going to be a different fit, because this stretches like your yarn. Your yarns will give you at least an inch. This isn't. So if, for example, let's say you do 5 rounds of your granny square, and it's measuring like 7 inches in width, or 7.5, whatever it is, and then you stitch it together, and you measure it again, and you get like a 7. That's it. It's not going to give you a stretch, so it will fit a 7 wrist diameter. That's what it's going to fit. So anyway, those are just a couple things to consider, but you can certainly do it. You can do it. So anyway, with that, I hope that you had fun with this. I am proceeding to make more. I gotta tell you something. The prices of the yarn are becoming outrageous, guys. It is. Now, we may end up going back to the day where you buy an old thrift shop sweater and you pull it out and make your own skein. You know what I mean? We may end up back in those days, because that's what they did way back in like the 50s and 60s. They were just reconstructing the old wool sweaters, and they were like Icelandic wool, thick strands of wool. But the thing is, I was looking, and little skeins are like $7. You can't. You'll get a hat out of it. You might not get the full hat out of it you want. So I would say start, really check out your thrift shops. Start and really start looking for the sales. Start kind of like bartering and looking. maybe for people who want to trade, because a lot of textile artists, a lot of crocheters will say, yeah, there's just no way I'm using that color again or that yarn, and you may just be looking for that. So anyway, with that, I thank you so much for being with me today. Hi, Untamed. I hope that you got something out of this video and you're inspired. And I'm just loving this purple and charcoal. And they do feel really good. And so with that, oh, and one other thing, if you do get your yarns from the thrift shop and you make something like this and you sell it, just put on the tag blended yarns, because that tells people that there may be wool in it, there may be cotton, there may be something in it they don't like, but you know for sure it's blended, unless you absolutely know it's wool. So I'm going to make more hats also, and I gotta tell you, I'm just tickled pink over the fact that I figured out that these two little flowers together just really jive. I mean, I love this. I love this. So hi Cece. So with that, I'm going to get crocheting, and mind you, this is a couple of hours or maybe an hour, depending how fast you crochet. This could be an hour. This is an hour for me. This is an hour. And same with these. I can fly through these. But typically, if you're going to enjoy it, have a cup of coffee, allow yourself to get up, maybe be on the phone, text. It's a couple of hours. It's a morning. It's an afternoon. Enjoy it. And take care of yourself. Okay, so with that, I'll pop back on if I get another hat done, if I'm going to sit down. I think I am, and make another hat. I'm going to try to make a bunch of these with the flowers before I jump into my granny square hats, just because I want to make sure I have the beanies done. So with that, you have a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. I thank you for being with me. I send you love and light.